Hey friends. Um, Today I've been conscious. I've been kind of awakened to something that um, I've observed before about the way that energy kind of works in our life and cycles of energy seem to work. Um, and I'll tell you the story in a minute, but it's kind of I notice, as I'm sure many of us do, I notice patterns that sort of recur in my life. And right now I'm not talking about like negative patterns or patterns that feel restrictive. I'm talking about just patterns of certain types of energy arrive in my life, and then there's, it seems like there's some sort of cycle that takes place over the course of however much time the cycle is, and it'll feel at certain points that that energy is kind of like gone. It's almost like the moon. It's like there's a full moon phase, and then it kind of almost becomes invisible, and then it opens up again and becomes a full kind of dose of the energy again. And the energy that I've been feeling I mean, it's literally, we're talking like the last 24 hours. I got a call from a theater director and had a great conversation. I met another theater person, artistic director of a theater here, super cool individual, great conversation. I had some contact with one of my collaborators from a big musical that I worked on a few years ago, still in progress, the MacGyver musical. And then I had contact out of the blue from another collaborator who had been in contact with the guy that I talked to yesterday and met yesterday randomly. So it was like within the space, and this has all happened in the last, I mean, we're talking like 24 hours. So between 5:30 yesterday evening and 7 p.m. tonight. And and not to mention, I also had a call with another theater director who wants me to music direct a show. Spent 40 minutes on the phone with her today, which I had almost forgotten. It's like, so this theatrical energy, the energy of the theater, and to some extent, it's all of it was musical theater oriented. Like, it was like it blasted me. It was like a big, bright, shining full moon of that energy, like entering my life. And it was so both like instant. It was like turning on a faucet, and also so sustained. I mean, like one person, next person, next person, next person. It was like, whoa, this really is like a little bit of an energy vortex. And last night was a new moon. Whoa. So I'm just clocking this because, you know, I suppose I've had experiences before where it's like a certain kind of energy seems to maybe dwindle in my life, and another kind of energy comes on. I'm not always quite sure why. And it was really just kind of really striking to see, to feel this much, to feel this big of a dose kind of arriving all at once. And it just makes me aware of these energetic cycles, because I did not do that on purpose. Like, that just happened. That was just like the plug went in the socket, or the something connected, and all of a sudden that line was open again. And it's really interesting to feel that happen. I welcome it. And generally, when a cycle like this kicks up, kind of starts up, I'm generally pretty welcoming of it. It's like, okay, I can roll with this. Not sure if I'm gonna do the gig that I'm being asked to do, but the rest of it feels like, but I might very well, but the rest of it feels like a real kind of just a reawakening of a certain kind of energy. So, I think the thing for me to really pay attention to is what does that energy do to and for my energy? Like, what do I receive from it? What does it give me the opportunity to give? Because there's a playfulness to it. It's like a kind of joy that bubbles up. And I want to keep an awareness of what I'm really committing myself to. Take stock of where my energy really wants to go. There's a line, this is really cheesy. We watched a movie of the Polar Express the other day with Annalise. It's kind of a manic movie for a kid's movie, for a kid's Christmas movie. It's like Robert Zemeckis, the writer, director of Back to the Future, he also did the Polar Express, and it's cool. It's just like super action every minute of the time. And but there's a line at the beginning when the kid is kind of like, the main character is kind of like questioning whether or not, oh no, maybe it's at the end. I forget. It's either at the beginning or at the end. It's either a lesson at the beginning of the story or it's a lesson at the end of the story. And the kid has like just deliberated about whether or not to get on the train, and, you know, which is also kind of a metaphor for him deciding whether or not he believes in Santa Claus, which is one of the things that carries throughout the story, you know, which is, it's in a lot of these Christmas tales. Like, do you believe in Santa Claus as an even larger metaphor for, like, do you have a certain kind of faith, or do you have access to that's how I see it. Do you have access to joy? Do you have access to ananda, or objectless joy? Do you believe? Do you believe that's real, and do you experience it? So the train conductor tells the kid, you know, great thing about trains is it doesn't matter where they're going. All that matters is whether you get on or not. And I take that as a kind of like lesson for life. It's like, are we diving in or not? We don't know where it's going to take us. Even if we think we know where it's going to take us, we don't know. So the choice is not knowing where this train will end up. Do you want to get on or off? Do you want to end up there? That's not the question. The question is knowing that this train is going on a journey in the general direction that you want to go, hopefully, because there are other trains out there. But knowing that much, do you get on or off? Are you on? Are you getting on or not? So, I guess that's a question for me. That's where I am today, people. Have a great day. I appreciate you. I'll see you very soon.